Is your orchid suffering from root rot? Today, I will continue to share with you some secrets to caring for diseased orchids. It's incredibly simple yet effective. With the right methods and a little meticulousness, your orchid garden will always be full of life, with lush green leaves and abundant roots. This orchid in front of you, honestly, if you're a beginner, it might be difficult to tell if it's still healthy or not. The orchid may look fine from the outside, with its leaves still firm and vibrant. But upon closer inspection, you can see that some of the lower leaves at the base are showing signs of wrinkling, and the growing medium is covered in green moss. Pay close attention. Some leaves naturally turn yellow, soft, and wilt. This isn't simply due to lack of water. And once removed, you'll immediately see bacteria and mold have invaded the inside. There are many. Therefore, we must remove them immediately. Then, the most important thing that many people overlook is checking the roots. I checked and immediately found the problem was in the growing medium. Many orchid pots on the market are grown using industrial fertilizers, and the growing medium retains moisture for too long. Initially, the plant looks healthy, but later it suffers from root rot, waterlogging, and ultimately, root rots and plant wilting. Therefore, it's necessary to remove the entire plant from the growing medium so you can see clearly. With orchids exposed to high humidity and poor aeration like this, the roots are very susceptible to rotting from the inside without us even knowing. As you can see, only the base and one root branch remain, which many people would think of discarding. But with today's method, I will help the plant grow back many new roots, helping it recover. The cause wasn't just one day. It was due to extremely low humidity, poor air circulation, and water retention over time. This environment created conditions for bacteria to invade, and the roots began to rot from the inside without anyone realizing it. Now I'll take out the scissors. I will cut off all the soft, black, brittle roots. Roots that can no longer absorb water will only allow bacteria to spread faster. I must be decisive, cutting until only the hard, clean roots remain. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to support me and so you don't miss any orchid care tips. It's great to have you as a companion on this journey. And after pruning, the next important step is to treat any remaining mold so that the plant can sprout new roots. Next, I prepared a clean container. I put 2 liters of filtered water in it. Besides English, we now have voiceovers in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and Indonesian to help you understand the content more easily. Listen in your preferred language by opening the video and clicking on the settings gear icon to select the appropriate audio language. Next, I used baking soda. Baking soda is a simple, inexpensive method with antibacterial and antifungal properties, especially suitable for plants that have just suffered from root rot. I only used a small spoonful. Then I stirred it until it dissolved completely. At this point, the solution looked normal, but this mixture will help clean the cuts, limit the return of bacteria, and create conditions for the orchid to begin recovering. Next, I put the entire orchid into the solution. Not just the roots, but the leaves, stem, and root collar all had to come into contact with a baking soda solution. the cuts from earlier, the areas that were rotten. These are where bacteria might still be present. Soaking like this helps clean from the outside in, preventing mold from returning. I left the orchid soaking in this solution for about 30 minutes. Next, I started preparing a very familiar ingredient. That's ginger. Ginger has natural antibacterial and antifungal properties, and it also repels some insects that often damage young roots. In the next step, I will show you how to handle ginger so that orchids receive the benefits without being shocked. Next, I take out the ginger root and slice it thinly. Finally, chopping the ginger allows the essential oils and active ingredients inside to take effect when added to water. More importantly, if used correctly, ginger also stimulates orchids to sprout new shoots, develop new roots, and recover faster. Next, I took out a clean container. Then, I put all the freshly sliced ginger into the container. Next, I used rice. Rice grains contain natural oils, vitamin B, plus potassium and phosphorus. I used 3 tablespoons of rice. These nutrients in rice are extremely important for weak orchids, as they help stimulate root growth, revitalize the plant, and boost its growth. Next, I poured in about 500 milliliters of boiling water. The hot water activates the nutrients in the rice and ginger. Then I stirred it well so that the ginger and rice release their nutrients into the water. We won't use it immediately, but we'll cover it tightly and let it steep for 1 day. After soaking for 30 minutes, I gently remove the orchid. At this point, I didn't rush to replant it because the plant is very sensitive now. Next, I took a soft cotton pad, dipped it in baking soda water, and wiped each leaf of the orchid. As I wiped, you'll see the remaining dirt and mold begin to wash away. These things clinging to the leaves may seem insignificant, but if left for a long time, they will weaken the plant without you realizing it. I wiped slowly and thoroughly, from top to bottom. Each leaf that's a little cleaner allows the orchid to breathe a little better. After wiping, the leaf surface is clean, dry, and well vented. Next, I set aside the moss. Then, I poured the baking soda solution over the moss and soaked it separately. The purpose is clear: to disinfect and kill any remaining mold. I let the moss soak for about an hour. After an hour, I took the moss out of the soaking area. Next, I gently squeezed out the excess water to ensure no water remained on the moss substrate. Which country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. It's wonderful that we can connect and chat with each other from all over the world. At this point, the moss substrate was thoroughly disinfected. Anything that needed to be removed had been removed. I set the substrate aside to dry naturally. After a day, my nutrient solution had completely changed. At this point, I filtered out all the residue. I filtered out the sediment to prevent it from clogging the roots when used on orchids. After filtering, I have a nutrient solution from ginger and rice. lightly fermented. Next, I brought the orchid out of the garden to begin caring for it again. I took a soft cotton ball and soaked it in the ginger and rice nutrient solution I had prepared. Then, I wiped the top surface of the leaves. The dirt and mold that had accumulated over time were noticeably removed, and the leaf surface began to feel cleaner and drier. Next, I turned the leaves over and wiped them more thoroughly. This is a spot many people often overlook, but in fact, mold and bacteria are most commonly found here. When the underside is clean, the stomata on the leaves begin to open and the orchid breathes better, gradually becoming healthier. After wiping, I placed the orchid in a cup and poured in all the nutrient solution. Next, we will soak the plant in water for 20 minutes so that it can absorb the nutrients. Next, I remove the orchid from the solution. The root tips began to swell, no longer dull in color as before. The leaves gradually turned a beautiful green, looking noticeably more vibrant. Remove the plant and treat any wounds or cuts. Next, I used cinnamon powder to disinfect the cuts on the plant. I applied it directly to the wounds, the freshly cut roots, the areas that had rotted, and any suspected bacterial infections. If these areas are ignored, fungi and bacteria will return very quickly. After treatment, I placed the plant in a well-ventilated area and waited for it to dry completely. After proper disinfection, the wounds dried up and began to heal. At this point, the plant was truly ready to be replanted. I prepared a pot with plenty of drainage holes. Next was the growing medium. I used moss, but it was pre-sterilized moss. I put the moss in the pot, arranging it just enough. I didn't compact it, leaving space for the roots to breathe. Next, I poked more holes around the pot. Then, I placed the orchid in the pot. Place the plant in the correct position, allowing the roots to grow as naturally as possible. Next, I covered it with treated moss. I covered it just enough, not compacted, so the roots could breathe and have room to spring out. Look here, when properly covered, the moss hugs the roots but doesn't suffocate them, maintaining just the right amount of moisture while still allowing for good aeration. And so, the orchid is being completely replanted in its moss pot. During this stage, the orchid only needs moisture, not soaking. Every 3 days, I lightly misted the leaves and the growing medium. Just misting to maintain sufficient moisture, preventing dehydration while ensuring good aeration. Next, I took a pot with many drainage holes. Then I inverted this pot and covered the orchid. I secured the pot with 2 butterfly clips on either side to prevent it from being moved by the wind. At this point, the pot creates a moderately humid environment, perfect for the orchid recovering. During this stage, I moved the plant to the garden, placing it in a shady, well-ventilated spot with gentle light. And here, the result after exactly 3 weeks. Now we will remove the lid and carefully inspect the entire plant after 3 weeks. The leaves have turned green again, are thicker and much sturdier than before. Next, I check the roots because new roots are what indicate whether the plant has truly The plant has developed many roots. I gently lifted the plant, and here you see the roots are growing abundantly inside. Not just 1 or 2 roots, but a whole cluster of new, white, healthy roots that are firmly attached. At this point, we can confirm the orchid has revived. With this method, the plant maintains stable moisture levels, so the roots sprout very quickly. Look closely, the roots are growing evenly and strongly, without And what I want to share here is, everything I used was very simple, mostly readily available in the kitchen. No need for heavy fertilizers or expensive chemicals. Once the plant has strong roots, it will naturally become stronger and adapt to its natural environment very quickly. Then, I continued to transplant the plant to its new environment. At this point, you can clearly see that the plant has developed many strong, healthy roots that actively take hold. This is the perfect time to replant. I've prepared a pot with many drainage holes. For long-term orchid cultivation, drainage and aeration are top priorities. Next, I used pine bark as a growing medium. I had already treated this pine bark beforehand, so I felt confident using it. I placed a layer of pine bark at the bottom of the pot first. Then, I placed the orchid in the correct position, ensuring it was upright and the roots spread evenly. Next, I added more pine bark around the plant, just enough to secure it without compacting it. Finally, I covered the rim of the pot with a thin layer of moss. This moss only serves to retain light moisture, preventing root suffocation. And that's it. The orchid is ready. Moving on to the next step, I continued making fertilizer for the orchids, still using the same familiar formula, ginger and rice. I followed the steps I shared above exactly. I prepared a spray bottle and poured the solution in. At this point, the plants were healthier and could absorb nutrients through their leaves. When spraying, I spray evenly on both the top and bottom surfaces of the leaves. This allows the nutrients to gradually seep through the stomata, then travel down to nourish the roots from within. With ginger and rice nutrient solution, I only use it once every 2 weeks. On normal days, I water and mist with clean filtered water every 3 days. Next, I started watering and fertilizing the plant. This time I watered directly at the base. The roots and the entire growing medium so the plant could absorb nutrients from below, the way orchids naturally grow. Then, I soaked the entire pot for about 20 minutes. This time was enough for the roots to pump water and nutrients up to the stem and leaves. After 20 minutes, I immediately removed the pot. During this period, I moved the plant to the garden, placing it in a shady, well-ventilated spot with plenty of diffused light. The light was just enough for the leaves to photosynthesize well, helping the plant continue to grow. And here, the results after exactly 1 month. Our orchid has grown back to its full potential. The leaves are tall, lush green, thick and sturdy, no longer soft or wrinkled like before. The leaf surface is glossy, with a slight ripple, showing that the plant is truly healthy. But that's not all. What surprised me most is that flower stalks have started to appear. Not 1, but 2 stalks. Look at the roots. Healthy roots. That's the clearest sign of a fully established orchid. In just 1 month, from a weak plant that seemed beyond repair, it's now blooming. The roots are densely packed in the pot. The young roots are white and vibrant, clinging tightly to the growing medium. And I believe one thing, when you truly put your heart into the plant, care for it correctly, patiently, without rushing, the orchid will give you the deserved results. What do you think of this orchid care method? Don't hesitate to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I really want to hear your feedback and experiences. Every share from you is a valuable source of motivation that helps us learn and love plants more every day.